Kickflip. Pop, flick, land. This is literally one of the most well-known tricks out there. Not only to just skaters, but to other people out there as well. Believe me, there have been at least half a dozen times where people have told me, "Hey, do a kickflip." But enough of me talking about how popular it is. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do a kickflip. That way, you'll feel awesome when you land your first kickflip, and when someone tells you to do a kickflip, you'll do a kickflip. For the back foot, you just want to leave it the same way as you would for an ollie, with your foot right there on the center of the tail. And then for your back foot, you want to leave it right there, kind of like a pop shove it position at like a 45-degree angle right behind the bolts. You also want to have a very good ollie, so be sure to keep that in mind and make sure you have that trick down. For step number 1, you have to slide your foot up the board and then flick out where the pocket is. But instead of just trying to kick out with like your whole foot or like the other part of your foot, like the foot where you would ollie, you're going to flick out with your toe instead. That way the kick flip and the rotation will occur. If you do it the other way around, it may work, it may not work. Just flick with your toe. Simple as that. Step number 2, you want to pop and flick. Pretty much just pop and flick and just add that together. The pop should be a little bit easier because you practice your ollie and you just want to get a feel for it. You don't really have to try to land it with one foot or the other, or just land it in general. Just get a feel for it, pop and flick, and just try to get a feel for it first. That way it feels more comfortable. So for the second step, you just want to flick and catch with your front foot. This will really help because when you go for the kickflip and you flick it and you try to catch it, sometimes you miss it with one foot, sometimes you miss it with the other. So if you're missing it with the front foot, if you ever try to go for it, just practice this step. Just pop, flick, and just catch it with your front foot. Or even if you're not struggling, you could just do it anyway because it could really help with some muscle memory. Either way, flicking and catching with the front foot can be very, very useful. So if you want to give this a try, you can. This step is kind of also optional in a way. You don't really have to do it if you don't want to, but if you're having a hard time catching it with your back foot, you can practice this step. You pop, flick, and then catch with your back foot. So this is kind of a way to like even it out. So like if you're if you can flick with your front foot and then catch it with your front foot, and then when you go to land it, you struggle to catch it with your back foot, you should practice this step where you pop, flick, and then catch it with your back foot. And then eventually you can put those pieces together and then just try it with both feet. That way both of your feet will be super comfortable landing on it and it won't be as hard to do. So if you want to practice this step, you can. If you don't, you don't have to, you don't want to, but it's just a suggestion. Here are some common errors and mistakes that you may or may not have when you try kickflips. Number 1 is leaning too far back or too far forward. Have a look at my kickflip here. My body weight is evenly distributed throughout the board. I'm not leaning too far forward, I'm not leaning too far back. I'm staying right there, centered over the board. And as you can see, the board stays right under me and it doesn't move forward and it doesn't move back. If I lean too far forward, the board is going to go out behind me. If I lean too far back, the board will shoot out in front of me. It's all about staying centered and trying to just balance your body weight when going for the kickflip. That way you can balance it well and the board will stay under you at all times. Number 2 will be flicking too hard or flicking too little. If you flick too hard, the board can over-rotate and you could probably land with the trucks facing up or landing primo. The same thing goes for flicking too little. The board, you can under-rotate it, causing it to land with the trucks facing up or for you to land primo. Either way, those are both pretty bad. You just want to try to find the balance between those two and flick it just right to where you get the perfect rotation. That's all that matters. And that basically just wraps up this kickflip tutorial. If you guys have any questions or if you guys are struggling with this kickflip, please leave your problem down in the comments below and I will be able to answer it to the best of my ability. Other than that, thanks for watching. You want to watch other videos on my channel, you can. And I guess I'll see you guys later. The raven has left the nest.